Downtown Salt Lake City's Main Street has always had two very distinct halves. The north half is almost all LDS-Church-owned, and now the billion-dollar City Creek Center has almost every fashionable Wall Street-shaded chain store one could hope for. With over 5 million annual visitors a year coming to Salt Lake City's temple, now we can host them in style. This shopping complex is just around the corner from the currently under renovation Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints headquarters and temple. The church's for-profit real estate development arm has been on a building binge for the past few years, erecting massive residential and office towers all around their properties. But the south half of Main Street has always had a much more distinct non-conformist flair. Here we find the Walker Bank Tower built by money from fortunes gained from mining. This once marked the non-Mormon financial district of Salt Lake. Today, Goldman Sachs recently took up 4 levels of the 222 high-rise that was built across the street. But further down the street, where downtown Salt Lake City's former Zions Bookstore once resided, we find a state of abandon and disrepair. And while the south side of Maine is not ritzy like the north end, it's authentic and unvarnished. And what is quite cool about this area of Salt Lake City today is that there is an actual bar district with 15 bars and restaurants on one single block. And amongst the bars and bustle, food and nightlife, there is a family-owned business that's been around in downtown for nearly 100 years. The shop is known as Utah Book and Magazine. The main proprietor is Peter Marshall, who operates the store with his sister Helen. Here they still have an old window display, a feature that once provided most of the character for the shops in downtown around Christmas time. Today, that tradition has mostly disappeared.
I have people tell me I'm pretty much the only one in Maine that decorates like for Christmas. I mean, in the 60s down here, the Paris, Arbacks, Pennies, Woolworths, all of them did beautiful windows.
Yeah.
And they were cool. I mean, you know, they had mechanicals moving in there, and it was good. It was neat at Christmas time. I mean, the Christmas tree they had in front of the Tribune up here, it looked like they just tore out the sidewalk and shoved the tree in there. That's about what it looked like, you know.
Working in the antique business since age 8, Pete became acquainted with some of the most interesting neighborhoods in downtown Salt Lake City, including warehouses, brothels, and Chinatown, which we get into in a future episode.
Well, where the Zions Bank sits used to be the old Sears and Roebuck warehouse, and my father rented that, the whole corner over here, maybe $25, $30 a month. And we stored a lot of antiques over there, and of course, when me and my 2 brothers got bored, my dad and grandfather said, well, take the BB guns across the street, shoot the rats. That's our battle. And they were rats. Bad down here.
Just all through the warehouse?
Yeah.
Shoot the rats?
And then back in the 70s, between 2nd and 3rd West was the old Bristol Hotel. It was an old cat house, is what it was. And we knew the woman really, really well, Eva. Got a lot of stuff out of there. We got the dressers, and they all had little slots in the top for the money. Mm-hmm. That's where they put the dollars. But it's like everything else. They tore everything down. You know, it was kind of a classy place. There wasn't a lot of rooms in there, but, you know. But Mrs. Carlquist was the original owner in about 1850 when they opened that place over there. It's kind of nice.
But what you're going to find most interesting about Pete is he personally remembers a ton of the history of Salt Lake City.
That's his wallet. Wow.
Frank Luther.
That's cool. Do you know anything about what he did? Like what Mr. Letary, what is he?
He had the same as this. Is that the rotisserie? In this crazy business, we acquired lots of this stuff.
And if you want to be more in touch with authentic local Utah, be sure to subscribe to this channel or visit utahstories.com and subscribe to our digital newsletter. There you can also subscribe to our monthly print magazine. For just $2 a month, we will deliver Utah Stories right to your door every single month. This episode of the Utah Stories Show is sponsored by Wasatch Brewery, who is celebrating their 35th year anniversary. Check out the link in the description to watch the story of Wasatch and Utah's original beer pioneer, Greg Scherf. Thank you for watching, my friends, and I will see you next time.